Thank you everyone for joining today for yoga. Today, as is Veterans Day. So I like to honor our vets. I am involved with the Veterans Yoga Project, and they started offering yoga to vets they started in 2010 because they learned, just like hopefully we've all learned, that yoga is a tool that can help us really maintain some balance when everything is out of balance around us. So today, many of our poses will be some form of a warrior pose. You know, our warriors are fearless and courageous and peaceful. And I want to take this opportunity to thank all of our vets through our yoga today. So let's start by coming to our center. And if you want to bring your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra, or if you want to place your left hand on heart center palm and right palm over it. And just notice where you are, sitting in your chair, if anyone is actually on a mat. And we'll do a little check-in here. A check-in with your breath. So you may have been joining from other activities. So maybe your breath is a little ragged. Inhales and exhales might be a little uneven. Nothing to change. Don't worry about it. Just notice where you are. And then we'll come into a very quick body scan. Because as yogis, it's wonderful to have a teacher, but you have to be your own teacher as well to check in and see where you are any given time. So maybe in today's class, you need a little more loving, tender care. Maybe you're feeling strong today and want to add a little challenge here and there. Maybe you have a sore back today. Let's do that check-in. If you'd like to soften your eyes or gaze down to the floor, we'll start by coming into some 3-part breathing. Let's begin by taking an inhale, expanding your belly and ribs and chest. And as you exhale, soften, releasing. We'll take an inhale, expanding belly, ribs, chest. And as you exhale, let the air flow out from chest, ribs, belly, and let your belly deflate. Inhale, expanding, expanding, and expanding. And as you exhale, releasing and softening. Taking 2 more of this 3-part Dhyaraka breaths on your own, at your own pace. As we begin, I wanted to start with a quote about warriors. And it's valor is stability, not of the legs and the arms, but of the courage and of the soul. So I think as you've done that check-in, it doesn't matter where you are today. If you're feeling wobbly and tired, valor is of the soul. So we'll start. I'm going to move back to the chair so you
And take a deep inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We'll begin by turning our palms up towards the sky and either reaching towards the sky if that's comfortable. If not, just reach to wherever it is comfortable. And we'll bring our hands through heart center and then release at our sides. Taking another deep inhale as we reach. Exhale, heart center. And now imagine as your palms are reaching up towards the sky, all of the positive energy in the universe. You're gathering up that energy and bringing it down to heart center. And then if you turn your palms down, anything that is stagnant in your being, you're pressing it away. Do that one more time. Inhaling, palms up towards the sky, gathering universal positive energy, bringing it into our entire being, stopping at heart center, turning our palms away as we release any other energy that we don't need today. Now we'll just come up, reaching, and then gently turning over towards your right. So your left hand can come on your thigh if that's comfortable. Your arm can hold the chair. And here we'll take an inhale and imagine that your head is floating up towards the sky. And as you exhale, you're twisting at the waist. Inhale, extending. Exhale, twisting. And taking one breath here, feeling the gentle twist. And then slowly we'll come back to center as your arms float up once again to the sky. And as you exhale, we'll come over to the left. Your right hand can come on your thigh. And we'll come through that same extension with your breath. And then a twist as you exhale. Inhale, extending. And as you release, twisting. And just gazing out. We'll come through center one more time. And then slowly releasing your arm into cactus arms or goddess arms. Now we're just going to bring our forearms together so you can feel that nice stretch on your back. And then release your arms open again. And bringing arms together. And releasing. And we'll come through that one more time. Inhaling, bringing them together. Exhale, opening. And imagine that there's a very light string opening up your heart center. And we'll come into eagle arms. So I'll show some variations here. If you want to bring your left arm over, down, your right arm on top of it. So this might be your eagle arms. If you can get your palms somewhat together, that's another variation. And if none of that works, just cross with your right arm on top of your left. So I'm not sure where everyone is in your Waldenstrom's journey, but I had a port, so doing eagle arms was not my wheelhouse back then. So just breathe here, feel the opening. Even if they're crossed or you can't get your palms together, you still have that beautiful opening. And then we'll take an inhale, release, and let your arms float back up. And we'll come to the opposite side. And bringing your arms down. This time your right arm will go under your left, and you might notice some difference here. So I like to bring the eagle into the practice for veterans and warriors, because our eagle is another symbol of strength, opening all the way up, of courage. And in the Native Americans, bringing hands to heart center, the eagle is a symbol of healing and hope. And I think that's so important for us, healing and hope. Now we'll come into a half sun salutation. So let's take an inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, bringing your hands down as you look down towards the floor. On your next breath, opening your heart back up just like we did before. And as you exhale, sitting back up straight, sweeping your arms up and bringing hands to heart center. We'll come through a couple of those just to help open up our spine. So inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, hands come down. You'll round down. Inhale, opening heart. And as you exhale, sitting back straight with your arms up towards the sky. Hands floating through heart center. We'll come through just one more. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, floating down. Opening up. And sitting back straight, sweeping all the way up with hands at heart center. And releasing. We'll get some movement in our legs here. So you can extend your left leg and release. Extend and release. One more, extend and hold it if it's comfortable. And then slowly release. We'll do that with the opposite leg. Extend and release. Extend and release. One more, extend, hold, breathe, and release. So you can walk a little forward on your chair and bring your heel out so you can get a really nice stretch up the back of your leg. And you can sit up straight, or if you're feeling a little, want a little more challenge, you can fold forward. So you can get more of a stretch if your toes are all the way up. So I'll come this way so you can see. Move my block. And fold forward. Foot is slightly flexed. Breathing. And I'm walking yourself back up. We'll come over to the other side. And again, I'll do it this way so you can see my foot. So you can stay right here. Or like I said, if you want to fold forward, you can fold forward. And bring that hand down. There's lots of ways you can play with these poses, whether you're on the chair or sitting on your mat. And then gently coming all the way back up. And we'll just come into some circles here. So just let yourself come into some circles. And going the opposite direction. Breathing. Always coming back to our breath. So with the Veterans Yoga Project, one thing they learned for our vets, you can go back the other way, was the importance of breathing to help with any traumas they brought with them. And one more time, the opposite direction, to help bring them back to the present and coming back to neutral. Inhaling, exhaling. We're going to bring our right leg up to a seated figure 4. And take some ankle rolls here. We'll be moving into a couple of warrior poses shortly. We'll go both directions. And if you want to get a stretch in your hip, you can put your hand not on your actual knee, but right behind it and press, or you can take an inhale and exhale, folding forward. And bring your forearms down, gently rest them. So we're all going to be different here. I've been working with some hip pain, so I'm going to walk myself back up to have less of a hip stretch. Breathing. And now you can slowly release and just maybe jiggle your legs side to side. And we'll bring the opposite leg up. Come into some circles. Both ways. And once again, hand just below your knee on your thigh if you want to press here for more of a stretch, or take that nice breath in and fold forward. Breathing. And we'll slowly come up, release your leg, do a little jiggle here, and then you can just jiggle out your hands too. So we're going to come into some warrior 2 and reverse warrior, and I can show on the chair, I'll show off the chair, and then I should have asked this in the beginning. Does anyone use blocks with your practice? You could just give me a thumbs up if you do. Okay, so I'll show also using the block, and honestly, you can use books too. It just is a support. So I'll show first with not using a block, and I am going to be turning my left leg towards away from me here. So your back leg, your right leg, and again, this all depends on how your mobility is in your hip, can stay right in front, or you can bring it behind as like we would in a warrior. Here's the standing variation, and you can use your chair to hold on to. So any one of those, and the block can be used for that front foot so that you have some support there if you need it. So I'll use the support. And let's extend our arms, extending all the way out. And let your gaze go out over your fingertips. This is Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, the strong, powerful warrior. Let's take an inhale, bringing hands, again, gathering all that energy back up to heart center. And we'll release it up to the air. Letting your arms float back down, and you can stay like this, or if you'd like to get a little wrap, you can take this back arm and just put it behind your back. So it just opens up your shoulder a little bit more. Proud Warrior 2. We'll release that, bringing hands to heart center. Bringing all the way up to the sky. And we're going to come into a reverse warrior. So you're going to let that back arm drop down to your leg. You can stay here. If you want to come into a little arch, looking up towards the sky. Either is fine. And then from there, we'll come into an extended side angle. So you bring that back arm back up to the sky. Let this forearm come to the side. And you can, again, stay straight or arch all the way over. And let's everybody look down at your foot, that front foot. And then maybe look towards the camera, look towards your screen. And you can stay in either one of those two positions, or if you'd like to look up underneath your arm. This is reverse warrior, the warrior of the open heart. And we'll slowly release all the way up and bring our hands to heart center. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Inhale, exhale, and you can bring that front leg forward and sitting on the edge of your chair. Let your toes turn out, just facing away. And we're just going to come into some shoulder down, so left shoulder to right knee and coming back up. Right shoulder to left knee. So let's bring some breath into this movement and breath. Inhaling as you float down. Exhaling as you float up. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. And we'll go through just a few more of these. Really trying to get into a few twists, but also opening up our entire back. Breathing. And the next time you float down, just come all the way back up. And take an inhale and you can release with a soft sigh. So inhale. Inhale. And we'll come into that warrior on the opposite side. So I'm bringing my block with me again. And just remember, if you want to use your chair, you can stand behind it and have that there so you can hold on. But if you're not feeling, I know a couple people said that they were just feeling a little tired today, and sit on the chair while you have it. So let's bring that, for me, it'll be my right leg, and I'm going to have that on the block. And this time, maybe I'll keep my foot in front of me. So, you can practice all these different ways as you extend. And gazing out over your fingertips. Take an inhale and bring your shoulders up a little higher, closer to your ears. And then as you exhale, let them release all the way down. Strong, powerful warrior two. And then bringing hands to heart center, gathering up that energy, breathing. And we'll reach all the way up to the sky. And then as you release, you can let both arms stay in the extended position or bring that back arm and wrap it around your back. So the wrapping just opens up your shoulder a little more. We still are rooted to the earth with our feet. And extending out with our hands. Take an inhale, sweeping all the way up, and bringing hands to heart center. Let's sweep our arms up, and we'll come into that reverse warrior. So bringing the back hand down and arching over. So in this situation, because I don't have my leg extended, I'm just holding on to the chair and looking down at our front foot, and then letting your neck release as you look towards the screen. And then either staying with those two variations, or you can look under your arm. Taking an inhale, sweeping all the way up. Bringing the forearm onto the thigh of your bent knee and arching over. If this is too much, you can put your hand behind your head, on your shoulder, all kinds of ways we can move into these delicious poses. Breathing. Inhale, sweeping up. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Release that bent knee, and we'll once again turning out your toes. And take a breath. We'll bring our right arm down to our right leg and sweep up. And then we'll reverse that to the opposite side. And you can stay on one side or the other, but if you want a little movement, we can go back and forth. Just really easy and gentle. You know, one thing they found with working with vets and yoga, we'll do just a couple more, is that sometimes the harder hot yoga was sometimes more agitating. And so the gentle yoga was something that helped them. Now both arms up, find calmness and mindfulness, and we'll bring our hands to heart center and release. So I'm going to show a variation on Warrior 3. I will show first standing. For anybody that's practicing standing, you would need your chair. And I'll just show using my right leg. So it's a balancing pose. So you can hold onto your chair, maybe extend one hand, maybe depending on where you are, both, but that's one variation. We are going to do it for those that want to use the chair here, is bending your right knee and bringing your left leg forward and hinging at your hips. And you have the same choice of arm movement. You can bring your hands to heart center. You can extend them to the side. You can bring them forward, or maybe just one forward. So any variation, and let your gaze come down to the floor. Warrior 3. One of the sayings that go with this is the extended fingertips are looking to the future. The leg that is back represents the past, and our torso represents this present moment. So slowly, wherever your arms are, bringing your hands back, setting straight, bringing that leg back. And if you were standing, just come back to standing and make sure that your feet are solid on the ground. And that's both variations. Let's root our feet back down to the earth. Take a breath, bringing your left leg back, right leg forward, and again, you want it grounded. And coming into the hinge, and whatever arm movement you're going to use for this side. Gaze is down at the floor. Remember to breathe. Breathing here. Variations of standing. Feeling the strength. So no matter how you're doing it, we are rooted to the earth. We are strong in this pose. And then slowly coming back up with your hands to heart center. And we'll come into those circles that we started with. So feeling the strength in the warrior poses. And come back to mountain pose. We'll extend both legs. I'm going to walk a little forward in my seat, reaching up to the sky. We're going to come into a forward fold, so you can extend your legs forward and come into the fold, or keep your knees bent and come into the fold this way. We're all going to be different in how we practice some of these poses. That's what makes yoga so appealing to people, I think, is because it just doesn't matter. Take some breaths here. Slowly pressing up. We'll come into a very gentle eagle pose, crossing your right foot at the ankle over your left, coming back into those eagle arms. So your left arm will be underneath your right. And breathing, and remember, you can put your arms on your shoulders. Taking a full inhale and exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly releasing. We'll come to that on the opposite side. So crossing your opposite ankle over. And then bringing the right arm under the left. Taking a few breaths here on your own. And slowly releasing your arms, releasing your legs, sweeping your arms up to the sky, interlacing your fingers, pressing palms up. And then let your palms come towards your screen as you round your back. Pressing up towards the sky. You want to take a look up there. palms facing the screen as you curl. And then one more up towards the sky. Releasing and let them gently float all the way down. And I'm just shaking mine out. And we'll come to seated and come into an energy breath before we move into Shavasana. So I'm going to move up a little closer. So this breath is called the circle of light breath. And the goal is to help us reduce mind chatter. And once we reduce our mind chatter, it allows us to have quiet and allows energy to flow into us, healing energy. So what you're going to imagine and how you're going to breathe. You're going to take an inhale. Imagine it's coming right here in your sacral area. So that would be sacral area. And that it's flowing all the way around and up your spine, all the way to your third eye. That's your inhale. And then as you exhale, right back down to the sacral area. So if you can't hold your inhale for the full traveling around your body, it's fine. It's really just a matter of focusing on that circular motion of your breath to release stagnant energy, but also bring us to quiet. So let's imagine taking that inhale right into the sacral area. Inhaling all the way around, up the back of your spine, over your head, right to your third eye. And then exhale, releasing back down to the sacral starting point. I'll talk through that one more time and then you can try it on your own. Inhaling to your sacral area as your breath travels all the way up and around, right to your third eye, beginning the release back down to the sacral area. I'll let you take 2 on your own. And whenever you're ready, you can move into your comfortable position for Shavasana. Right? Just be leaning back in your chair, lying on your mat if you have a mat on the floor, if that's where you're practicing. And softening your eyes or gazing down. Gently becoming aware of your surroundings. Noticing if there's any sounds or temperature you can feel in your room. If you're warm or there's a breeze. And then begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, helping you come back to this present moment from our pose of surrender. And then seeing the light behind your eyes, and then gently fluttering your eyes open. We'll bring our hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. And we celebrated our veterans today with their valor and courage. And we honored the eagle, who is a symbol of hope and healing and courage. I want to end with this quote from Eric Thomas. Eagles use the negative energy of a storm to fly even higher. So I thank you for practicing with me today and wish you all a wonderful evening. And namaste, the light in the teacher in me honors the light and the teacher in you. Thank you.